Joining me now is Andrea Mitchell in for Chuck Todd this morning. Good morning, Andrea.
Good morning, Christy.
Here in Atlanta, we have been closely following the special grand jury and focusing on the special grand jury, investigating whether former President Donald Trump criminally interfered with the state's 2020 election. And then came Monday when another investigation popped up. The FBI, as you know, executed a search warrant at Mar-a-Lago where agents removed 11 sets of classified documents, which his lawyers previously said had all been returned, possibly violating the Espionage Act. How likely do you think it is, here's the big question, to see a prosecution on this?
We don't know how likely it is that he will be prosecuted because the Attorney General would have to decide that, and it is such a major decision. They would have to decide that it was likely they could convict. That is their standard for indicting anyone, and especially a former president. So whatever laws may or may not have been broken, whether or not he faces criminal prosecution is something way down the road. Many of us had thought that your probe down there in Fulton County was the most likely to have serious repercussions for him. That, of course, remains to be seen. But he's now battling it on all fronts. Just this week, he took the Fifth Amendment more than 400 times in a civil case involving the New York State Attorney General. And he was, in fact, with his lawyers, Christy, with his lawyers preparing for that deposition in New York City when they learned about the search warrant having been, executed at Mar-a-Lago in real time, and, got calls from their lawyers down in Florida as the FBI was going through the house. They said that they had cooperated for months and months, but the fact that they found more than 20 boxes of government material that belonged to the National Archives, including classified documents, 11 sets, top secret documents, the fact that that was all found proves pretty well that it certainly proves that they had not turned everything over as they had affirmed. So it remains to be seen. The fallout has been enormous. The threats of violence against the FBI, against the federal magistrate who signed that search warrant. We'll have to see whether that dies down now that Republicans and critics see that there was really something there and that the former president or his lawyers had not been completely honest, apparently,
right,
with the FBI.
Now. Okay, so speaking
Christy?
of that special grand jury here in Atlanta, Trump's former attorney, Rudy Giuliani, has been ordered to appear here this week in court. And there is some speculation that Giuliani could also be the target of this investigation. Is the DA's office casting a broad net here, or do you think, should we consider Giuliani a bigger fish?
Well, I think that Giuliani is clearly central to that investigation. He testified there to the state legislature. He was he was leading the charge for all of these conspiracy theories against the elections being an honest election. And the fact that he was such a central character and so close to the president, I think he's a legitimate person to certainly be questioned.
Okay. Andrea, thank you for your insight. Meet the Press airs at 10 right after 11 Alive Weekend Morning News.